Hey Castaway travelers, welcome back to the channel. Today, if you're planning a trip to Boston 2025, whether it's your first trip or even if it's been a while, I'm going to be giving you the ultimate 2025 Boston travel guide. We're going to cover some of the iconic landmarks, hidden gems, money-saving tips, and the different experiences you absolutely do not want to miss. So make sure you hit the like button if you love travel guides, and subscribe because we post new travel adventures 3 times a week. So the next 3 videos are all going to be about Boston. Let's dive into Boston's best spots in 2025. Boston and baseball are completely inseparable, and no visit is complete without a trip over to Fenway Park. Seeing the Boston Red Sox play any team in the league over there is absolutely iconic, and this is America's oldest ballpark, which opened in 1912. So game tickets, depending on the day, start at around $25, and military members can even grab up to 50% off certain games if you book online well in advance. And even if you're not a huge sports fan, the Fenway neighborhood is full of fun and excitement. You can explore Jersey Street, home to pop-up vendors and different Red Sox stores, as well as bars such as the Bleacher Bar. And this is my favorite bar in and around Fenway Park, where you can actually peek into the stadium from the ground level in dead center field. A pro tip I do have is that the Fenway Park tour, when there's not a game, is available on non-game days, and this is around $25 and gives you access to the Green Monster as well as the press box areas, and you get to see all the different memorabilia and special things within the Fenway Park. All my buddies who aren't even Red Sox fans still to this day say that Fenway Park is their favorite Major League Baseball stadium that they've been to, and most of these fans happen to be Yankees, Mets, as well as Phillies fans. So comment below, are you team Yankees or Red Sox? Next stop is going to be Boston Commons. This is another iconic park, and it's the oldest city park in the United States. And it's packed with history, beautiful trees, as well as open spaces where the locals could lounge year-round. And in the winter, there's even ice skating that gets set up over at the Frog Pond, and you can rent and skate for about $10. So after you leave Boston Common, I want you to cross over at Charles Street and go to the stunning public garden in Boston. So this is home to the whimsical Swan boats, and you can ride these for about $5 per adult. And also in this park, you can see the Make Way for Duckling statues that kids tend to love. These statues are small, golden looking, and it really draws your eye to them. A travel tip I do have for this area is that early mornings are the best for some of the photography in this area before all the crowds roll in. And if you love hidden green spaces, make sure to subscribe, because I'm going to be dropping a Boston Hidden Parks tour next week. Alright golfers, who wants a budget-friendly golf experience just outside of Boston? So the historic William J. Devine Golf Course, which is over at Franklin Park, is an absolute public treasure. So for only $40 a round, which is an absolute steal for anyone that knows golf, you can tee off against the backdrop that happens to be the Boston skyline. Even beginners will appreciate this peaceful, wide-open course, and there's also a practice range for just $7 if you prefer just to hit a few balls and go through a few buckets. A local tip I do have for this area is that to hit the course around sunset for some of the most breathtaking views of the city that you could see anywhere around Boston. We can't talk about Boston without discussing the Boston HarborWalk as well as the New England Aquarium. So this is a crowd favorite and one of my favorite walking areas in all of Boston. So I want you to follow the salty breeze along the Boston HarborWalk. It's a gorgeous 43-mile pedestrian path. Yes, I said 43 miles. Dotted with restaurants, public art, as well as stunning ocean views. I want you to stop by the New England Aquarium, where tickets run for about $34, which is relatively cheap. And you can also bundle it with the Go City Boston Pass to save additionally on this deal. So inside, I want you to make sure that you don't miss the giant ocean tank. And it's hard to miss, especially from the outside, where there's a 4-story coral reef exhibit teeming with sea turtles, sharks, and different rays. It's absolutely incredible. So one of the food tips that I do have is afterward, I want you to go grab a lobster roll at Legal Seafoods, which is right nearby. It'll run you about $24, but it tends to be worth every single buttery bite. So smash that like button if you love waterfront cities just like Boston. So let's stick with the food trend here. Food lovers, I want you to keep listening. Keep your ears perked up. So the North End is Boston's historic Italian district. It's basically a maze of brick streets and heavenly smells. And one of my favorite things over there is the pastries. You can grab a famous cannoli over at Mike's Pastry for about $4, or you can go over to one of the rivals on the same street to Modern Pastry for a different but equally delicious version. I'm a little partial to Modern Pastry, and I'll tell you guys why in a sec. So then, there's also a secret, which is exactly why I like Modern Pastry a little bit more. So if you go downstairs, past the line, past the crowd, past the pastries, and past everything else in that store, there's a hidden speakeasy bar down the basement stairs in Modern that offers old world cocktails in a cozy, small 1920s atmosphere. This was a relaxing spot that we were lucky enough to check out, and it wasn't even busy, and the drinks were incredible. So a budget tip that I do have for this area in the North End is that many of the North End bakeries only accept cash. So make sure you bring bills if you're over in this area and trying to go to bakeries. And one pro challenge that I do have is tag the Castaway Travelers in the cannoli photos on Instagram and give us a hashtag Castaway Travelers, and we're going to share some of our favorites on there. So taking a breather after our wonderful bakery trip that we had over in the North End, let's take a breather at the beautiful Boston Public Library. So this is over in Copley Square. It's free to visit, and it's full of gorgeous murals, marble staircases, as well as history. So the free art and architecture tour is actually fantastic, and I do recommend it. But if you're not that interested in that, something else that I do have is that you can settle in the sunlit courtyard with a coffee from Café Bonjour right inside. This is going to run you about $7 to $8 for a drink and a pastry, which for any major city is an absolute steal. So one quiet moment tip that I do have is it's the perfect spot if you want a low-key break from your busy sightseeing days in the city of Boston. Next, let's go for a true old-school taste of Irish hospitality. And you can't not mention any pubs if you're talking about Boston. So don't miss the Black Rose Pub, which is right over near Faneuil Hall. This was the first Irish pub I've ever went to, and it was one of my favorites because I was able to be there in 2018 when the Boston Red Sox were playing in the playoffs. And it was a completely electric experience being in there for any Boston Red Sox or any Boston sports for that matter playoff game. So they serve up hearty plates such as a shepherd's pie, and they offer live Irish folk music almost nightly. So this spot is super popular for both tourists and locals, and their Guinness pours are perfect. And you can't go to an Irish pub without having an Irish whiskey or a Guinness. So one early bird tip that I do have for this pub is to arrive before 6 p.m. and snag some of the best tables without a wait, or catch one of the spots in the corner. Moving on, if you love seaside adventures, then you need to check out Castle Island. This is a must-see for anyone visiting or traveling or touristing over in Boston. So exploring Fort Independence has free entry, which is helpful for your wallet. You're able to walk the scenic trails around the different peninsula and watch the planes soar over by and land right into Logan Airport. So top this off with a quick visit over to Sullivan's, and this is a legendary snack shack that offers lobster rolls for only $13, as well as ice cream cones for just $3. This is perfect for anyone trying to get their steps in, do some sightseeing, enjoy the different things around Castle Island, as well as stay out of the heat and grab a quick snack. So a hidden gem tip that I do have is that there's also a secret small beach area on the south side, which is perfect for relaxing, and there's also minimal crowds over here. And from what I've seen, is a lot of people tend to bring their dogs running around on the beach, and it's just a really cool atmosphere. Alright guys, so let's get ready for one of the most well-known and quirkiest experiences, taking a ride on one of the Boston duck boats. So the Boston Duck Tour is actually pretty incredible. The tour guides are hilarious, and it comes on an amphibious boat. So these World War II era style amphibious vehicles will take you through the city streets of Boston and then splash right into the Charles River to continue their tour. Tickets for this are a little bit more expensive. They're around $50, but you're getting a tour of the city and a tour of the Charles River, as well as seeing all these amazing sights. And if you're in the military, you can also get $10 off as a military discount. So a family tip that I do have is that kids love getting to drive the duck boat, and they'll be allowed to. The captain will often let the little ones steer the boat once they're on the river. So I want you guys to end your historic journey in the city of Boston, my favorite city, with a Boston Tea Party ship and museum trip. So visiting this runs about $35, and you're actually able to get 20% off if you're in the military. And the experience is actually super interactive. You'll even get to throw replica tea crates into the Boston Harbor. A bonus tip I do have is to head upstairs after the tour to Abigail's Tea Room for some colonial style treats like Indian pudding as well as fresh scones. Alright guys, I wasn't going to leave you without having 3 big extra discounts that you can have in the city of Boston in 2025. So first on my bonus list is going to be the MBTA 7-day Charlie card. This is going to give you unlimited subway and bus rides for just $22.50. And this is going to save you a fortune if you're staying anywhere over 3 days. Second bonus tip is going to be using the Go City Boston Explorer Pass. You can bundle this with a bunch of major attractions and end up saving about 40%. Last but not least is going to be the Freedom Trail guided tours. I want you to book a full Freedom Trail experience, which is about 90 minutes. And you can do that through Groupon deals for just $12 to $15 instead of paying the full price of $25. So if you guys found this helpful and enjoyed the video, please hit that subscribe button and you'll never miss a new guide. Drop a comment below if you're visiting Boston for the first time. Let me know what your favorite thing was in the video, and I'll personally reply with another bonus tip. And also share the video for someone planning a trip to Beantown in the near future. Keep traveling.